Another day, another squat session at 5 in the morning. It's pretty chilly again, as you expect, 5 in the morning. But yeah, so front squat session again. I've got work this morning, so I have to be quite quick getting through all of this. So same thing as always. Heaps of volume, warm up a little bit, and then hit some sort of heavier weight, and then get off to work. But I want to talk about something that one of my subscribers said in one of the comments in the previous video. The subscriber's name is Flaffer. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But he spoke about how he's attempted squatting every day a few times now. And the first time he attempted it, he was doing low bar squatting and he hurt his lower back doing it. I went along the lines of saying, yeah, I'm not kind of surprised, and I think the more upright the spine is, the easier this program is. The reason why I say that is because when the Bulgarians did it, they did it as an accessory. Like squatting for them was an accessory for Olympic weightlifting, right? That's the whole, origin of this program. This program wasn't for powerlifting. This wasn't to put somebody's squat up. It was purely to get stronger in the legs for the snatch and the clean and jerk. So their spines were really, really upright. Now, the reason why this is important is because the more forward lean you have, the more posterior chain you're going to use. Now, we all know that the posterior chain doesn't like recovering all that quickly like the anterior chain. This is where your spinal cord lives, and any interruption to the spinal column is going to basically freak out the nervous system, and it's probably going to shut off power to preserve itself. Anything close to the spinal cord is basically vital. And so the organism tries to protect itself by basically shutting off power, forcing you to rest and all that sort of stuff. So if you can maintain an upright body position, you can handle a lot more workload, which is what I'm finding right now as well. So when I back squatted initially, I started off quite leaned over, maybe because of lack of mobility. And as I've kind of progressed and my legs got stronger, I've kind of straightened up and my ankles kind of loosened up and my hips loosened up. But now that I'm doing front squatting, I'm finding recovery even less of an issue. I just feel like I can do exactly what I do every single day and feel nothing of it. The other day I did the vomit session where I was doing back squatting, and that felt much worse, I think, than it would have if I did front squatting. So front squatting should be the staple of this program. I think Ivan Abajev, the Bulgarian weightlifting coach, told everybody that you're all front squatting. If you smashed your wrist up or the elbow hurts or whatever reason you're kind of injured and you can't do the front squat, then you do the back squat. But the back squat was kind of like a distant variation because it wasn't so much. There wasn't direct carryover to the weightlifting moves as the front squat. So the back squat was kind of like a second show. So yeah, I think if somebody's watching this and you're interested, I know Danny Richardson, you've just subscribed and you're kind of doing it. I'm not sure what the reasons are that you're doing it, whether it's just for powerlifting, getting stronger, or getting your legs stronger, or is actually Olympic weightlifting. I would highly recommend you just do front bar squatting. That's what I've found you recover the easiest with. So it's just food for thought. When Flaffer commented yesterday, I thought that's a interesting point. Like he said he injured his lower back doing low bar squatting. Now I've never done low bar squatting. I just feel like it's you could probably move the most weight. In fact, we know you can move the most weight because it's the bar's lower in your back and you can engage more of the hips and whatever. And but it doesn't serve itself well to everyday squatting because it's so heavy. If you take the next step of low bar squatting, which is kind of the deadlift in that direction, you wouldn't be deadlifting every day. And the reason why the deadlift is so tough to recover from is, once again, the spinal cord, the posterior chain. It's much more involved, and you usually tend to lift heavier loads. So yeah, something to think about. That's something that popped into my mind as soon as I read Flaffer's comment. And then I thought about Danny Richardson, who's just found the channel, and he's doing the same thing as well. But let me know, Danny, what your you know, what your goals are, what you want to do with this. Are you into weightlifting, powerlifting? You know, what's your deal? If you have any questions, let me know. But anyway, let me start getting warmed up. The cool thing about doing all this volume every day is that my quads have blown up, man. I'm not kidding. But when you look at the Chinese weightlifters, in fact, a lot of the weightlifters, Olympic weightlifters, man, if you see how their physique, their development, there's a lot of quad development. If you think about it, a lot of their movements are with an upright position, you know, flat back, upright, flat back position, which is going to call for a whole lot of quad work, right? It only makes sense that you want really, really strong quads. You know, if you look at Lou, the way he squats, incredible. If you look at Klokov, if you look at any of these guys, you know, they try their best to maintain a most kind of vertical position. This is why all these shoes make a lot of sense. So it's all about quads. You know, push pressing, you can't push press when you're leaning over, right? Push pressing is like this, and then you pop up. You know, clean and jerk. You know, so it's all quads. So it all comes down to quads. You know, but you want useful quads. You don't want to just sit in a leg extension machine and just get pointless hypertrophy. You want that quad designed, you know, to stand and transfer force. So, I mean, you can probably get away with doing some leg extensions just to add size. But you don't want useless size. You want size that's actually there with a function. So that's what I'm thinking about when I'm kind of training. Like there's certain muscle groups that you want to hypertrophy the hell out of. And then other ones that are kind of more dormant in some of these lifts, you don't necessarily want to add, you know, slabs of meat onto. If it's not serving your purpose, you don't want to be, I don't know, we're not bodybuilding. At least I'm not bodybuilding. I just want to get the squat stronger. You know, and I actually think the physique, the only physique of some of these dudes at the top level That's awesome, man. Lou looks like he's a freaking bodybuilder, right? Like he looks jacked, but I know he's built for performance, so it makes it even more cool. If you see somebody with that physique in the gym who doesn't really perform, it's less impressive. When you see Klokov, when you see Lou, you know, those dudes are built like race cars, you know, they've got a purpose. It's not just for show. That makes it so much cooler. That's when physique looks like, wow, like, kind of like sprinters, you know. Sprinters are also look jacked, but you know that they can run. And that's cool. I find that really cool, man. You know, it's like cars, you know. Do you want a show car that just sits there in the car park? Or do you want a car that looks good, but it can go? And it looks good because it can go. Like the lowered height, the stance of the wheels, like it's all built for a purpose. That's really cool. I'm always talking shit about bodybuilding. Oh man. You guys must think I hate bodybuilders. The good thing about doing all this volume every single day, sets of 20 with 20, 40, 60, is this. I'm breathing quite hard at a very low expense in terms of recovery. Like I'm not huffing and puffing with like, you know, weight that I did the other day where I'm rolling on the ground because, you know, there's so much lactic acid. This gets the, you know, the lungs working, which is really good because, you know, before I never really had a rest rate of this much, you know, in my daily training. This kind of wakes the body up, especially early in the morning. Like I get to work and I'm fresh, man. Like I feel like I'm way ahead of everyone else. People just roll out of bed, coming to work, then down in the coffee. And I feel like I'm way ahead, man. Like my body's already had a whole bunch of oxygen through. Like I'm awake because of the oxygen. They're awake because of the caffeine. Which one's more healthy, you know? I feel strong. Like you get to work, my legs are pumped. I'm walking around like a baboon. You know, it's a really cool feeling. I feel like I'm ahead of the game when I come to work. And I feel good because I've actually done something. Like I've actually, you know, improved something before anyone's even woken up. So I feel like it gives me a bit of a boost, self-esteem, and I feel like the whole day isn't a waste because, you know, I do 12-hour shifts at the hospital, and you know, 12 hours is a long time, right? It's actually 13 hours, you know, before I get home and all the rest of it. So there's no way I'm gonna train when I get home. I want to spend some time with the kids if they're still up, and you know, spend some quality time with the family. This way, this is just my time, it's sleeping time. I don't bother anybody, so. So the thing that I'm thinking about today, I did some research yesterday in regards to front squatting, whether to look up when you front squat or whether to look kind of down when you front squat. Now previously I thought your head positioning determines your thoracic spine positioning. If you look down, you're going to kind of fold over and you're going to drop the bar. It's impossible to lift this way. So you're looking up, you expose more of the collarbone and there's more of a shelf, so you can kind of stay upright. What I found though is that when I do look up, some of my neck muscles stick out a little bit, and I kind of have less of a shelf on the collarbone, which is really, really interesting. Like it actually feels like I'm pushing the bar forward when I do this. But when I do this, so, you know, there's this, then there's this, right? So you know which one is more preferred. Like you can't lift like this. But if I do this, so what I'm doing here, like tucking the chin, so I'm looking down, but I'm chest out. I feel like this is the best position for me, instead of this, because this kind of gets the neck muscles out and it's pushing the bar forward. So if I do this, so I keep chest up, chin down, I feel like there's more of a area inside to put the bar on the collarbone. So during this last set, I kind of did that. I feel like it's easier for my back to do that. Easier for my thoracic spine, and it's easier for the bar shelf. I don't know. I watched a whole lot of people Olympic weightlifting, you know, the top dudes. And some of them are like looking straight up. A lot of the Chinese lifters look straight to the ceiling almost. And then you got other dudes who are just looking straight ahead, and some guys even look down. So I think it's all about experimentation, guys. Like with everything, you just kind of work things out as you go along and do what suits you, you know. All right. Now let's go 60 for 20 reps here. I'm gonna try and do this chin down business. Almost 20 minutes in. Nice. Got plenty of time. It's good. Ooh. So that bar positioning felt pretty good. I just feel more stable for whatever reason. I think the key is not to sacrifice thoracic spine positioning, because thoracic spine positioning is exactly what keeps the back or the bar on you. If you run forward, you forget about it. So with lighter weight, you can do whatever you want, really. You can get away with a lot. But I'm gonna test out with some heavier loads. And then that's gonna truly test me to see whether that position works. You know, when I put 140, 150 on the bar, we'll see what the position's all about then. If chin down, you know, makes the bar more difficult to rack, then it's a, you know, end of case. Case closed. I have to keep the chin up then. All right, so this is 80 now. Hit this for 10. If you're somebody that has difficulties hitting the quads, which is kind of what's been my case for a long time, like I would do back squatting day and night, and I wouldn't really feel the quads. I'd feel the glutes, I'd feel the adductors the following morning, absolutely. But rarely would I just wake up and feel like, oh, okay, the quads have been worked. Since doing front squats, since doing this 20 rep front squat business, I can safely say that the primary mover in that move is the quads. They really get a lot of blood, a lot of stimulation. So, especially if you're doing kind of over 10 reps, you really feel what's what. It's been a refreshing thing for me. You know, I also have trouble breaking the weight off the floor when it comes to the deadlift. And I mean, I'm deadlifting very infrequently now, but I do feel when you have some decent quads, it goes a long way to actually breaking the form, breaking the bar off the floor. So a couple of different symptoms for me put together indicated that my quads were weak. One was the shitty off the floor deadlift. The next thing was my hips shooting up, me leaning over when the weight got heavy with the squat. That's also another symptom that your quads really want an easier way out of certain positions. So it took me a little while to kind of think of front squats. You know, I experimented with lunges, walking lunges, step ups, Bulgarian split squats. I did everything and anything to kind of supplement my back squatting. And then it just occurred to me, why don't I just front squat? And then eventually I thought, why don't I front squat to some volume to see what's what? And since then, my quads have been feeling jacked. So really excited. The way I want to squat, I want to be squatting predominantly with my quads. So it only makes sense to involve the quads. I don't like low bar squatting. I don't like sumo squatting, the West Side barbell squatting. It's not athletic to me, it's not appealing to me. Just don't like it, don't like it. I respect the dudes that are lifting crazy amount of weight with it. But when I think about squatting, that's not what I think of. I've said this before, I think of my son squatting, he's a toddler. You know, when you see kids squat, perfection, almost vertical back positioning. You know, when you see the Olympic weightlifter squat, that's squatting. When I see the low bar squatting with the shins being vertical, and fucking the spine being all the way leaned over, that's not appealing to me. I get that's where the strongest dudes are in terms of low bar squatting, but that's not something that I like. And so at the end of the day, you gotta like what you're doing and you gotta believe in what you're doing. And so no one can force you to do something every day if you don't like it. So freely. If you've got a gun to your head, you'll be doing anything. But and the good thing is, I'm not a paid athlete. I'm not playing for a team. I'm just playing for myself, really. So this is a hobby, so I can do as I please. I guess that's the good thing. But yeah, let me know, guys, if you're a low bar squatter and you don't like what I'm saying. Let me know why. It's interesting because I guess I'm training for powerlifting, although I've never competed, but I don't like some of the things that I see in powerlifting. So I kind of try to merge some of the movements from the Olympic weightlifting sort of, you know, area into powerlifting. I wish all the powerlifters squatted like all the lifters. That'd be awesome, but it's not. Don't get me wrong, some guys, even with low bar squat, they look really good when they squat. They look rather vertical and the rest of it, but a lot of guys lean over like they're deadlifting. Don't like that. Anyway, I'm ranting too much. Let me hit this 84-10. chin down. I think that felt pretty good actually. For some reason, when I have chin down, it's easier for me to raise the shoulders. Interesting. Yeah, it's a lot easier for me to raise my shoulders when I tuck the chin, increase the chest. I can get my shoulders up. But if I do this, I don't know. I don't really know what causes that, or whether it's just in my mind, whether I've got that wrong, but for some reason chin down makes perfect sense. All right, 100 on the bar now. How are we going for time? We're good. 100 on the bar now. Do this for 5. And then 120 for 1, 140 for 1, and then maybe 150 for 1. All right, we're good, we're good. Man, these shoes, man, fuck. Week into having these shoes, like I've had these shoes for a long time, but it's been 4 or 5 years. I spent a lot of time without wearing them. But they started squeaking, basically. Screeching, whatever the term is. A couple of months after I bought them. Yeah. They're supposed to be good shoes. They feel good, it's just something's making sound. This is one of the most important things about training every day, is that you have so many more opportunities to learn something. Something pops in your mind during the night, come in the morning, test it out. You know, if you have 7 of those days where you train only once a week and you have 7 days of something popping up in your mind, how many of those things can you actually try in one day? It's too much screwing around if you only have one squat session and you want to try different things. So the more time you squat, the more times you can actually experiment and get away with experimentation. You know, that's a really cool thing about, you know, squatting every day. There's heaps of opportunity to actually learn something. All right. These later sets, I feel like I should just rest even less. There's no, like I'm not feeling anything. You know, my breathing's already calmed down. All I gotta do now is hit this for 1. Like, how hard can it be? All right, now we're getting to the heavy stuff. Now is where you critique what you want to critique. So if 140 feels like it's in a solid rack position, then I've got something to think about in terms of, do I implement this moving forward? I feel like it's going to be all right. I feel really stable. I feel like the bar is more deeper in me, like in the collarbone neck region. Like I said to you guys, I'll do this, some muscle kicks out. The what's it called? Man, I should, anatomy, physiology, sternocleidomastoid, something like that. That big fat tricepy looking muscle that comes down your neck. It's a flexor actually, so it was more like a bicepy, but it comes down like through here. I feel like that really sticks out and forces the bar out when I stick the neck up. When I do this, that kind of like, you know, folds over a little bit and the bar can go a little bit deeper onto the collarbone. And obviously the more the bar can get to a midline of like center of mass, the easier it's going to be for you to stay upright and the easier the load is going to be on your upper back. So really, if you could like put it in between your neck, like inside your neck, in the middle of your torso, like in there, then you'll be able to like stay truly upright. So the idea is to get the bar like closer to the center of mass. This is maybe why I feel a little bit more stable. And I'm somebody that has a, I don't know, pretty fat neck, like not traps. Like just my neck I feel like is just naturally big. I don't know. I don't have big traps, but I feel like my neck is quite big. I know that because when I buy shirts, you know, like formal shirts, a lot of the time I can't do the top button up. So I know that I've got a fatter neck than usual. And so maybe that's why when I do this, the bar kind of sits a little deeper. All right. 140 for one. Let's test this out for real. That felt a little bit tough, to be honest. Felt like my I felt like my torso was caving in a little bit there. I'll do another rep with 140, and this time I'm gonna look up. Maybe if I can look up this way, rather than this way. So I guess you can look up with chin tucked in and up. Yeah, if I can do this with my neck and up, maybe I can get the best of both worlds. I'll do one more rep and I'll see what's up. If some of you guys out there are into front racking position, maybe if some of you guys are Olympic weightlifters, hit me up with a comment. Man, we'd really appreciate it if you're directing me the right way. Obviously, I don't have formal training of Olympic weightlifting. This is just me learning on the fly. But yeah, your opinion would be appreciated if you know what's going on, what the recommendations are from coaches, and what the teachings are. I'll do another rep. Actually, let's not wait. Let's just get this rep. So looking up, chin tucked in. Yeah, that's definitely a lot better. A lot less prone to kind of leaning over, folding over on the thoracic spine. Yeah, I think that's the way to go about it. Chin tucked in and up, instead of just neck up. Anyway guys, another day, I gotta get ready and go to work. Another day, another squat session, front squats today. You know, learning a bit about my front squat racking position. Yeah, pretty good. Quick shower and go to work. Catch you guys tomorrow.